And we're back at it on a Monday, another week of frivolous television, fun, entertainment, and information coming your way for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Monday. The day before the weekend, I am Dan Kuntz, Steve Hare, our news director to my immediate left. Happy Monday.
I see you're dressed for the weather.
Yeah, it's chilly.
No, it's just cold.
It's cold.
It's cold out there.
It's cold.
How cold was it?
Right now, it's how cold is it? It's so cold, I don't have a metaphor. It's 27 degrees outside. But it's
the
gonna be a
dog
nice
wasn't
day.
quite frozen to the tree, but you know, it was,
If you park outside, you'll be on your windshield once again today.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to warm up the car a little bit. You can't fire up and go. It's chilly out there, but a nice couple of days, and then we're gonna get into that weather pattern that if you've lived here in this area for any stretch of time, you get used to it. We're not even close to winter yet. Winter's not until Thursday the 21st, but starting late afternoon and all the way through this weekend into the weekend, clouds and fog and clouds and fog. That inversion layer is going to be paying us a visit, and it's going to stay around for quite some time. So we get sunshine today. We get sunshine for the most part Tuesday, I should say. Tuesday night, tomorrow night, the clouds and the fog thicken up, and with the high pressure ridge, Steve, that means no sunshine.
No sunshine, but dry weather.
Dry weather. Absolutely no precipitation on the forecast at all anywhere. That includes the mountain passes. In fact, when we have that air inversion that we get down here in the Valley Floor, it traps kind of the junk in there, and I know we got some ecology warnings coming your way. It's going to be warmer in the mountain passes than it will be in the Wenatchee Valley. You get up above the clouds and the fog, you get to 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 feet. You'll have sunshine and highs in the 40s, as opposed to highs in the mid-30s and lots of clouds and fog down here. Forecast details. We're coming up. Steve has a bunch of news to get to as well. We got sports. How about those Seahawks?
Hey, they're looking like world beaters again.
Yes.
I think, you take down the top team in the NFL, well, they're still in that Super Bowl equation.
I think being home underdogs kind of ticked them off just a little bit. I don't think they like to be underdogs at CenturyLink Field.
No, but Russell Wilson, when he's on his game, he's unbeatable.
Yeah, he was. He was on his game. It was a nice victory for the Seattle Seahawks. Very solid performance against the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. We have the obscure holiday of the day today. We have birthdays. We have Today in History. We'll be rolling out our new feature this week and going through the rest of the holiday shopping season, inviting our viewers to shop local. We'll talk about that. Also, the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. We'll mention that once again today. Second half of the show, our regional labor economist, Don Messick, was in our studio last week. The October unemployment numbers came out, and it was good news, wasn't it, Steve?
Real good news. In fact, we've never seen unemployment numbers like that in a long time. In fact, historical lows, and we'll tell you more about coming up later. It's
a great interview with Don. It was good to see because he's based out of Union Gap, the gateway to Yakima, which is the gateway to Wapato. So he doesn't get to make it up here too often, but he was in town last week doing the rounds, and he came by and paid us a visit.
Yeah, and he'll be paying visits periodically now, every month or every couple of months when we get the reports.
So you must have been on your best behavior last week when Don dropped by.
The best I could do. Best I could do.
It's a fascinating interview. We're going to show it in its entirety in the second half of the program, or you can go and watch it on demand on our website at ncwlife.com, ncwlife.com. You ready to go around the Wenatchee Valley?
Let's take a look.
It's a beautiful morning. We got some great shots for you, folks.
Look at that shot now.
That, of course, is the Wenatchee Valley proper with the mighty Columbia rolling right down the middle. I got quite a bit of Christmas shopping done over the weekend.
What did you get me?
It's a surprise.
Something expensive.
You'll have to wait. It's big and expensive, just the way I know you like them. Do you open at the Hare household? Are you Christmas Evers or Christmas morningers?
We're kind of late in getting the decorations up this year. I mean, they're kind of going up in phases, but we'll get it up by the end of the week.
When do you open your presents?
Usually on Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife and I exchange gifts.
Yeah, there you go. We exchange glances at our household. That is Monument Hill. Good morning, Quincy.
Wow.
Isn't that just gorgeous? Opportunities are unlimited out there, Steve.
I don't know, that sunshine makes me hungry for eggs for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, it's a beautiful day out there in the Columbia Basin. Of course, Quincy, named after the great Jack Klugman character.
Jack Klugman.
You remember the show, Quincy?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Sure, the coroner? Yeah, that was heady TV back in the day. Camera number 3. Oh, can I go home now? There, look at Billy Goat.
Oh,
look at Billy Goat.
Cold.
It's cold, but it's gorgeous up there. Billy Goat Ridge, where the Methow meets the Columbia. That is Pateros, right smack dab in the middle of your screen. The Alta Lake Golf Course, Steve, which you can see. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're closed for the season.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. And finally, camera number 4. That is Two Rivers. That's beautiful Lake Wenatchee. Is that Bigfoot I see?
I don't know.
It might be.
Little wave of smoke coming up there in the distance, it looks like, huh?
That is kind of cool. That's probably, from the way the crows fly. Now, this is one of our highest cameras. I'm trying to figure out where that would be with that little puff of smoke that you're talking about on the far left hand. I just can't. It's really, that's probably 70, 80 miles from where
I was going to say, yeah.
Easily. So we're back at it on Monday, the 4th day of December, 2017. Dan Kuntz again alongside Steve Harry. You ready for a forecast? It's look kind of like this. Yeah. Not bad today. Strong high pressure has already begun to build over the Pacific Northwest. It started yesterday. It continues to build today. It's going to persist through the week. So today and tomorrow, Steve, we're going to see sunshine. Quite a bit of sunshine today. Partly sunny and a little cooler on Tuesday. Tuesday night is when the fog and the clouds begin to really develop. And because we have that high pressure ridge, that means nothing but stagnant air and cloudy and foggy beginning Tuesday night and lasting all the way through at least Sunday.
So my hopes for an Indian summer have been
gone.
dashed.
Don Johnson, forget about it. Look at your afternoon highs, look at your overnight lows, very consistent. Again, no sunshine. Sunshine will be up there, don't worry, the sun's not going anywhere. But if you want to enjoy lots of sunshine, my advice, maybe Mission Ridge or just go up.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you go over to the Puget Sound area or off to Spokane to get away from the Gluck and the P, it's not going to happen. Everybody's going to be dealing with quite a bit of fog and low
Boy, I
clouds.
saw some great pictures of Mission Ridge over the weekend. They had some great conditions up there.
Great conditions, absolutely. So that's what you want to do. If you want to see the sunshine, you have to go up in elevation. And speaking of that, and the mountain passes, nothing at all to concern you with today on this Monday. As far as advisories and restrictions, the last I checked, Stevens had the only traction tire advisory, and even that wasn't much. I-90 right now, no problems. Roadways bare and wet, patches of ice in places, no advisories, no restrictions. Stevens still has that traction tire advisory. Roadways pretty much bare and wet, ice in places on Stevens Pass and Blewett, no problems at all. A couple of patches of ice on US 97, that's all you're going to have to deal with. The forecast for the mountain passes, sunshine. Absolutely no precipitation at all. You saw in the Wenatchee Valley, not a raindrop or a snowflake on our graphics. Same deal for the mountain passes. Nothing, no precipitation at all, and sunshine. In fact, sunshine with highs near 40 in the mountain passes. Warmer in the mountain passes than it will be down here on the valley floor because they're going to get the sunshine, and we are not. No advisories or restrictions expected. Once they lift it on Stevens, that's going to happen fairly soon, and then that's it. We're no precipitation at all. Quite a bit of sunshine, a little breezy at times. Outside of that, it's going to be beautiful to go up in the mountains and up in the forest, maybe get your Christmas tree, that kind of deal.
Good idea. In fact, those permits are available, by the way, at the U.S. Forest Service office here in Wenatchee or any of their ranger district offices. Go cut your own tree in the forest, yeah.
It's the way to do it. It's 8 minutes after the hour. Steve Hare has your Monday morning news headlines. When we come back in 1 minute, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 2 on the NCW Live channel.
Alone, it can be hard to reach our dreams. It can feel like you aren't welcome anywhere. When no one's there to clap. Taking on the world by yourself. But when we come together, when we lend a helping hand, when we set the stage, when you support causes you care about in your community, lives are changed. You make a difference in someone's life when you give. Imagine the impact if everyone in our community gave 10%. 10% makes a difference.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And a good Monday morning to you. Again, I'm Steve Hare with what's happening here around north central Washington. First of all, he's made it official. Douglas County Undersheriff said he's ready to move up that command ladder. Kevin Morris announced Friday his intentions to file for the position next year. He says it's been his ambition since he first joined the police department, or rather the sheriff's department, back in the year 2000.
I went in the military, in the Navy. I was stationed on the Saratoga aircraft carrier. I was a firefighter rescue guy, crash and salvage team on the carrier.
Oh, great.
When I got out, my goal was to get into computers, be a computer programmer. I thought, you know, that's probably where the future is going. And so I enrolled in school, came home, enrolled into school, and had to get a nighttime job. Nighttime job was security. So I met the local law enforcement and made friends. And they asked me, hey, you want to be a reserve officer? And I didn't know much about it. And I said, well, how much does it pay? And they said, well, nothing, it's voluntary. And I declined. I said, I'm busy, going to college, working full time. And about a month later, one of the sergeants said, I'd like you to ride with me one night. And I said, well, why? And he said, I think you have the personality and the character for this job, and I'd like you to just ride with me one night. And as fate would have it, within 10 minutes in the car, we joined in an active pursuit that went through town. The adrenaline dump.
Got the adrenaline going. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I was a civilian. I couldn't do anything. I had to sit in the car. But what I watched that night was a pursuit that went through a community and put everybody at danger. The suspect crashed and fled. I couldn't get out of the car, and there was something inside of me that really wanted to chase him. But I watched 4 agencies work together and bring a solid conclusion to that event. And that night I said, I'll join the reserves. And I went through the Reserve Academy while I was going through college. And then the history was made then. I got the bug, and I was committed from then on.
And again, the 44-year-old Kevin Morris is the only candidate thus far to file his candidacy papers with the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission. Harvey Jesdahl announced his decision this past month to retire from law enforcement at the start of next year. Also, the weather forecast calling for cool, dry, stagnant air has prompted the Washington State Department of Ecology to issue a Stage 1 burn ban beginning today at 9 a.m. through Wednesday, December 6th. All outdoor burning and use of uncertified stoves and fireplaces will be prohibited in Chelan, Douglas, Kittitas, and Okanagan counties due to expected poor air quality through the region. Stage 1 ban prohibits all outdoor burning and including residential, agricultural, and forest burning. Use of any wood-burning devices are prohibited unless they're your home's only adequate source of heat. Fine particles from the wood smoke can get into your lungs, causing some breathing issues certainly there. So turn off the uncertified stoves for today, unless that's your only source of heat. It appears the state will dismiss a lawsuit filed against WUWV Fruit Company for setting the 2016 Foothills wildfire. The company's insurance carrier has paid the Washington State Department of Natural Resources over $424,300 for costs related to putting that 156-acre fire out. WUWV Fruit employees accidentally ignited the fire while welding brackets during the installation of bird netting in a cherry orchard. The lawsuit was filed in Douglas County Superior Court last month, and with the payment is expected to be dismissed as early as this week. Over 4,100 people made the journey to Bethlehem this year. The annual reenactment of the Christ child's birthplace saw 164 people in costumes in the town, plus others in supporting roles, which included things like greeting and parking, along with the makers of around 600 dozen cookies that were enjoyed not just by the participants, but by the visitors themselves. This event is put on by the area's Seventh-day Adventist churches, but includes assistance from other folks in our community. It was the 8th year for the event, so congratulations for another well-done job there. Also, Pybus Market greeted Old St. Nick yesterday as he arrived in Wenatchee in a bright red helicopter. Here was the scene yesterday. It's captured by one of our NCW Live cameras. Very stellar camera work by our own Dan Kuntz here. Dan, you must have been standing right underneath the blades there.
I was pretty close.
It's kind of dangerous.
It's amazing. You forget the kind of downdraft that helicopters can do unless you're really close to one. There's Santa.
There's Santa. You weren't quite sure which one was Santa, though.
Well, the pilot was dressed as Santa as well.
Okay.
But that's the real deal. That's, of course, Santa Claus himself. It was good to see Chris Kringle and look at all the kids.
Yeah,
It was really neat. So but I got to tell you, that helicopter almost blew me over. Because I'm there with the camera, and it's like, oh boy, it was. You forget about that.
So is Santa going to be down there then, having pictures taken with you?
He did yesterday, and then he'll be, in and out. He's a busy guy this time of year.
Oh yeah.
He sends your love. He says you're on the nice list. You're in for quite a haul this year, Steve.
That's good.
So congratulations there.
Good to get out of the bad boy.
Yeah, you were on the bad list for
I was
a couple
getting
of decades.
an awful lot of coal, pieces of coal in my stocking. So
Ever since Santa went to the DOS-based database for good and bad, it's gotten so much easier because the paperwork used to be just awful. So.
Great weekend, by the way. It was the first Christmas lighting festival up in Leavenworth, and I heard they had quite a crowd up there.
Yeah, at least 100, I'm told.
At least 100.
Yeah.
That's just one street corner. But hey, let's close it out right now, Dan. We close out our report this morning, folks, with a little seasonal reminder of how winter weather can ruin the spirit of the Christmas season, courtesy of the city of Walla Walla.
I'm City of Walla Walla Mayor Alan Pomerantz, and I approve this message.
Yo, VIP, let's kick it. Ice pipes, baby. Ice pipes, baby. Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. Winter's back and it's gonna be wicked. Water in your pipes will end up freezing if you don't do this every season. Can you make it stop? Yo, I don't know. Find the main shut off to stop the flow. On freezing nights, open doors to your cupboards. That'll cost you less than a call to your plumber. Dance and let your faucet drip slow. And don't forget to unscrew your hose. Insulate your outdoor spigot with styrofoam if you can dig it. Drain the tube and check your water meter. Make sure your lid stay close to Easter. If you have sprinklers, yo, get them blown out. VRBO, shut the main, let it flow out. Ice pipes, baby. Ice pipes, baby.
Okay.
Well,
Got the message across.
well, I know to what age group. Like that jacket. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Everybody should have a nice sable coat this time of the year.
Ice pipes, baby.
That's pretty clever stuff. It is 17 minutes after the hour. Don't forget the news with Grant Nelson will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. There's a number of news stories we'll be working on, so be sure to tune in 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight. And don't forget to get a hold of us. You see at the bottom of your screen, there are any number of ways to do it. You can email us. You can pick up the telephone and call us during regular business hours. If you call that number now, you're going to get my voice saying we're not open yet.
Or it'll ring through to me.
It'll ring through to Steve. Also, you can Facebook message us if you so desire. Any number of ways to get a hold of us. All of that right down there at the bottom of your screen. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers here
Look at
on the
that
NCW Live channel.
sunrise.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's Billy Goat again. That's just incredible. We don't need it. Can we just show that for the rest of the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
yeah.
go grab a bite to eat. Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Just incredible. It's a beautiful. And there's Monument. Look
wow.
at wow.
Looking at it.
Good morning, Quincy. Unbelievable. Just I love those views.
Isn't that great?
Sunrise, by the way, isn't until for another 3 or 4 minutes officially. And the first day of winter, heads up on that because we're not there yet. It's not until Thursday, December 21st. So we're still in autumn, even though it's going to feel winter-like most of this week with the low clouds and the fog, besides today and tomorrow. Steve, I know you're a busy guy. I'll catch you loose.
All right.
And Steve will be joining us towards the back half of the show after Steve's interview with Don Mesnick, our regional labor economist, which is coming up in the second half of the show. 18 minutes after the hour when we take a break, and when we come back, sports and everything else you're used to on this Monday edition of Wake Up in Anchi Valley, live from Studio 7 on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Live News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Telecommunications. December 8 and 9 is the Snowy Owl Family Christmas Show in Leavenworth. Head to the Snowy Owl Theater for music, dances, commercials, and a Christmas story featuring local performers. December 8 and 10 is the Leavenworth Village Voices Christmas in the Mountains concert at the Leavenworth Church of the Nazarene. Tickets can be purchased at the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Just about 20 minutes after the hour on this live edition of Wake Up in Anchi Valley, 4th day of December, 2017. It's a Monday. I just want to look at Monument. for the rest of the day. Just incredible views this morning, but don't get used to it. As we mentioned before at the top of the hour when we did the weather forecast, sunny today, partly sunny tomorrow, low clouds and fog come in on Tuesday night, and then that's it. The air inversion, we'll have just low clouds and fog trapped on the valley floor for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Don't say we didn't warn you. All right, for the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard we go. We'll begin with Friday night with the State 1B Football Championship. Elmira Cooley Heartline set 2 state title game records. They scored 84 points, and they racked up 722 yards of total offense. They beat Sunnyside Christian 84-60 on Friday. That was followed by another blowout win in the 3A title game. O'Day beat Rainier Beach 38-11. Saturday morning was the 2A title game, which went to Hawkinson with a 35-22 win over Tumwater. Royal followed that by winning its 3rd consecutive state 1A championship and their 41st game in a row, 33-27 over Meridian. Kalama held on to beat Liberty 28-27 with a late interception. That was the 2B title game. And finally, in the big schools, Richland beat a 28-0 halftime lead, and then they held on, but they defeated Woodinville 28-21 for the Bombers' first state championship since 1999. On the Les Schwab Prep basketball scoreboard from Friday, this is the boys. Meade blew out Wenatchee in Spokane 74-41. Toppenish topped Cascade 80-38. Hanford eased past Eastmont 63-47. Waterville Mansfield escaped Aniat with a 44-34 win. On the Les Schwab girls prep scoreboard from Friday, the ladies, Eastmont improved to 2-1 with a 61-45 win over Hanford. Wenatchee won its opener. They defeated Kennewick 59-55 on Friday. Cascade dropped its second straight 60-21 to Toppenish. Aniat dropped Waterville Mansfield 57-36. Saturday, boys basketball. Wahluke hit 2 free throws with 5 seconds remaining to edge Kashmir 42-40. Kamiakin topped Eastmont 68-41. Granger got the better of Chelan 65-61. Brewster beating up on Waterville Mansfield 72-39. Girls basketball Saturday, again the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard. Kamiakin gunned down to Eastmont 69-37. Kashmir no trouble with Riverview 66-31. Granger got by Chelan 59-50. Brewster all over Waterville Mansfield 42-16. How'd the Wild do over the weekend north of the border? Not bad. 1-1. Nothing wrong with that. In the opener Friday night, Wenatchee came from behind to beat Salmon Arm 4-1. Our friend Art Checker had the call to the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network with highlights from Hockey TV.
Subsequently served, and now back the other way. There's Kingston. He's in his shot, and he scores. Sasaki dished it in, dropped off back to the left side, sharply down low, backhander and a score. August von Unger and Sternberg from down low, unsuccessful. Shoveled back up for Zek midpoint. He guides it to the right wall for Morton. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. Sam Morton rips the shot high glove side from the top of the right circle. Got held in at the point and pushed over to Morton. He spun and fires it. And the Wild have taken a 2-1 lead. They're up through center. Shander tried to cut in. Adams back in front, tip, and a glove save made by Isley. By Souter. He guides it around. It was out of the reach of Vanderbeck, but held in Sasaki. Far point now to Demon. Demon shot and a score! Demon shot with Weatherby as a screen. Looked like that may have gone right through the blocker side arm and body of Dumba. The near wing, Morton moves in, finds the trailer, Demon. His shot, and he scores! Slava Demon, his second of the night. As the Wild entered the zone, Demon was the high guy trailing on the zone entry. Sam Morton had it on the left wing, snapped it across, and Demon let it rip, beats Dumba on the glove side. And the Wild now lead it 4-1. Enters the zone, shouldered off the play by Adams. Chalatic throws it out front, but that'll bring the buzzer and the end of the game.
So there you go, the goals. August von Unger, Sternberg, Sam Morton, and 2 from Slava Demon to get the victory. On Saturday, Wenatchee traveled to West Kelowna. Trailing 3-1 midway through the second period, Wenatchee got a goal from Jasper Weatherby in the second and A.J. Vanderbeck in the third. That forced overtime, but it was R.J. Murphy's goal, 2:36 into the extra frame, that gave the Warriors the victory 4-3. Wild will be at home. They will take on Trail Wednesday at 6:30, and they head to Merritt and Prince George for the weekend. Well, the Seahawks surprised the NFL world with a 24-10 win over Philadelphia at CenturyLink Field last night. Sunday night football. Seattle scored on its first possession of the game on a 46-yard field goal and then scored on an 11-yard touchdown pass from Russell Wilson to Jimmy Graham with 10 seconds left in the first quarter. That built a lead that they would never relinquish. Russell Wilson, 20 of 31, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. He added another 31 yards on the ground. His counterpart, Carson Wentz, was under pressure most of the night. He got sacked 3 times. He was 29 of 45, 348 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. With the victory, Seattle keeps pace with the Rams, and they put themselves right back in the playoff hunt as far as the rest of the NFC West went yesterday. 49ers got 5 field goals from Robbie Gould, including a 24-yard game winner with 4 seconds remaining to surprise the Bears in Chicago. 15-14. Jared Goff threw a couple of touchdown passes. The Rams beat Arizona 32-16 in the desert. They still lead the NFC West standings at 9-3. Seattle is now second at 8-4. Los Angeles will host Philadelphia Sunday at 1:25. Seahawks travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, also at 1:25 on Sunday afternoon. And that is sports at 25 minutes after the hour. It is the 4th day of December, 2017, your obscure holiday of the day today. Today is National Cookie Day. Do you know anybody who doesn't like cookies? I mean, there's thousands of different varieties. Of course, there's a lot of food-related holidays, and the vast majority of them exist so businesses can say, hey, dig me, promote ourselves. But I don't care in this case because we all love cookies so much. You'll have to do a little looking around, have to do a lot of research, but there will be businesses in and around the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington, who will be selling cookies at significant discounts or even free. Most cookie retailers celebrate National Cookie Day, as should you. National Cookie Day, always celebrated on December 4th because we don't know. 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, you got 4 items for you today. Happy birthday to the Grange. The Grange. Oh, that's Burger King. Well, guess what? It's Burger King's birthday too, but we'll talk about the Grange first. Former Minnesota farmer Oliver Hudson Kelly founded the Grange on this date in 1867, 150 years ago. It was originally called the Order of the Patrons of Husbandry. Later on, it was the National Grange of the Order of the Patrons of Husbandry. Now it's just simply the Grange. Not surprisingly, with the decline of farmers, you have to remember that when the Grange was founded, I think 2/3 of all Americans were farmers, and now it's less than 2%. So Grange membership has declined considerably as the percentage of American farmers continue to decline. Between 1992 and 2007, membership in the Grange fell by 40%, but there is an anomaly here, an exception. That's in our state. Washington State has the largest Grange membership of any state. There's about 13,000 Grange members in the state of Washington, more than any other state. Keep going, Grange, 150 years old today. Yeah, it's Burger King's birthday too. There you go. Happy birthday to Burger King. It was 154 years ago. 154 years ago. It was 1954. It was 63 years ago. December 4th, 1954. The very first Burger King opened in Miami. Burger King is the second largest hamburger fast food chain in the world. There's about 15,000 Burger Kings worldwide. McDonald's, of course, leads the way with about 32,000. Burger King is owned by the same company. Yum Brands owns Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. You add all of those up together, and that would make them bigger. But anyway, happy birthday to Burger King. About half of all Burger King outlets in the world are in the United States. Burger King is 63 years old today. In Miami, Florida is where the very first Burger King opened. 61 years ago today, one of the legendary recording sessions, there it is, the $1 Million Quartet. It was a Carl Perkins recording session at Sun Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. Carl Perkins was supposed to be recording some music. They brought in Jerry Lee Lewis to play piano to kind of fatten up the sound. Elvis was hanging around town. He and his girlfriend, Marilyn Evans, dropped by to find out what was going on. And before you know it, Johnny Cash dropped by because he had nothing better to do. And there they are, the $1 Million Quartet. Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash. And somebody in the control room said, I think I'll roll tape. This could be important. It was the first and only time that these 4 gentlemen sang together, the famous $1 Million Quartet. The lady that you see in the photo did not sing in the $1 Million Quartet. That was Elvis's girlfriend at the time, Marilyn Evans. The legendary $1 Million Quartet recording session happened on this date 61 years ago today. And I still can't believe that Pan Am didn't make it. 26 years ago today, Pan Am, the Pan American World Airways, ceases operation after 64 years. They went out of business on this date in 1991. They were the gold standard of airlines anywhere in the world. They had the franchise. If you flew overseas from the United States to anywhere else in the world, you had to fly Pan Am. And they did the best. They had the very best pilots. They had the very best Stewardesses, the stewardesses were required to be bilingual. Most stewardesses had a college education. Pan Am was the gold standard, and yet they still couldn't make it. The late, great Pan American Airlines, Pan American World Airlines, went out of business on this date 26 years ago. Remember, it could happen to anybody. 30 minutes after the hour, celebrity birthdays. Jethro Bodine, or Bodine, if you will. Max Baer Jr., the last surviving member of the Beverly Hillbillies, is 80 years old today. Of course, he played the dim-witted nephew of Jed Clampett. Of course, he was also typecast after the Beverly Hillbillies went off the air in the early 1970s. Max Baer Jr. couldn't get a job, at least acting, so he got smart. He decided to go behind the camera. He became a screenwriter and a producer, and a very, very successful screenwriter and a producer. Did very well for himself because he couldn't go in front of the camera anymore because everybody go, hey, it's Jethro. Max Baer Jr. is 80 years old today. I was looking up this gentleman's filmography, and it's very impressive. Jeff Bridges, one of my favorites. He's 68 years old today. Seabiscuit, The Big Lebowski, of course. Starman, which is one of my favorite movies. True Grit, the remake of True Grit. Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, The Last Picture Show. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor in Crazy Heart. Jeff Bridges, one of America's finest actors, is 68 years old today. And happy birthday, Jay-Z, an American success story. Jay-Z, not just because he married Beyonce. Jay-Z, the American rapper, producer, actor, founded a number of different record companies. He's done very well for himself. He's also considered one of the most influential people in the music industry. And I'm told a pretty nice guy, although I've never met him. Jay-Z, this will make you feel old, he's 48 years old today. Wow, happy 48th to Jay-Z. 32 minutes after the hour, the holiday season is now in full swing. Thanksgiving is in the rearview mirror. A lot of people went out and began their Christmas shopping over the weekend. They probably got their Christmas trees. So our little reminder to you to shop local here in North Central Washington. We'll be highlighting one business per day on this show all the way through the holiday shopping season. We want to begin with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. There they are. The Christmas Cottage is open now through December 22nd. The hours are Monday through Friday from 9 to 4, Saturday from 11 to 4. And of course, in addition, they also have the thrift store at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. This is the place where you want to go if you want to find absolute one-of-a-kind gifts. Handmade stuff you are not going to find anywhere. When they open up that present on Christmas morning and you go, where did you get this? This is so cool. You can say, I got it at the Christmas Cottage, or I got it at the thrift shop at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. We love our friends down there at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Drop by. You'll be glad you did. Pick up a present or two. Put you in the Christmas spirit. And one more item of business before we take a quick break, and that is, of course, a reminder about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive, which is going on right now. When you're out and about and you're buying your Christmas presents, all we're asking for you to do is to buy one new unwrapped Christmas toy for kids specifically, and put them in the boxes, which are all over North Central Washington. We have one here at our NCW Life studios during regular business hours. You can drop by the Wenatchee World, you can drop by Sangster Motors, you can drop by both Les Schwab locations, Wenatchee or East Wenatchee Works down by the riverfront before you work out. Hooked on Toys is a great place to do it because you can buy the toy there and put it right in the box there. Make it very, very simple indeed. And if you want to know specifically what kind of toys some of the kids are looking for this year, there is a list available to you by going to their Facebook page. Go to Facebook and just type in Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's going to pop right up, and you will see a list of all the gifts and the ages and the sexes, all that kind of stuff. What do the girls want? What do the boys want? So that way, not only you're just not buying just a random toy, you're buying something that the kids are going to want to see under the Christmas tree this holiday season. Every kid in North Central Washington deserves to have new unwrapped toys, plural, toys under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. You can make it happen by participating in the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. We'll have more on that, by the way, with our afternoon news with Grant Olson. 34 minutes after the hour. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. By the way, Mike's getting old. He had an epiphany. He'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. That's a reminder. Mike Magnotti's show today, Street Talk and Other Stuff, live from the studio. His guest will be Dimitri Mandalis, the president of Local Telecommunications Net Neutrality. The FCC has changed the rules. They did that a couple of weeks ago. Dimitri Mandalis will be Mike's guest live on Street Talk and Other Stuff at 10 o'clock coming up today on this Monday. All right, 34 minutes after the hour, Mike's opinion is 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Praise Fruit Barn is open all year with a variety of reasons to stop by. Leavenworth Quilt Company inspires ideas from simple to amazing with gorgeous fabrics, interesting patterns, and inspiration for all levels of quilter. Dilly Dally is a fun gift shop with many one-of-a-kind gifts and a corner of gifts for the little ones. And in between is Praise Fruit Barn with a bounty of local fruit, local honey, and specialty food items. Praise Fruit Barn, open year-round.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and then struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I don't care how many movies, remakes, or sequels are done, there are some things that just are inviolate as far as I'm concerned. Now, Sean Connery is James Bond, okay? Not some other two-bit poser actor. I don't care who they stick in that job. Sean Connery is James Bond. And something else, Harrison Ford is Jack Ryan, not that Baldwin guy or some other make-believe character. And here's the one that really kills me. Basil Rathbone is Sherlock Holmes. Now, I know Rathbone is dead, but isn't it better to preserve the integrity of the character than trying to put some other two-bit actor, some other person in a role that belongs to Basil Rathbone alone? Now, this, to me, is the worst part of the capitalist system. Trying to milk additional money out of fictional characters when the original actors who created the roles in the first place are no longer available. Just give it up. I mean, sheesh. Let's have some respect. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Christmas is charming. Christmas is Santa Claus. Christmas is collectible. Christmas is whimsical. Capture Christmas at Kris Kringle.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
NCW Life Channel, your home for local news, local weather, local sports, and local shows featuring local people covering local topics like Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Let's Learn, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel, your local TV station.
41 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we make it a point around here at the NCW Life Channel to talk to experts in their field, and we did exactly that last week. And I say we, I mean Steve Hare, our news director, had a chance to sit down with Don Messick, our regional labor economist who handles all the labor statistics for the North Central Washington area. It's a fascinating conversation, and it's pretty good news. Here's Steve's interview with Don Messick.
Joining us now from the Employment Security Department for the state of Washington is our Central Washington Regional Labor Economist, Don Messick. He's here to join with us, give us the latest information on the jobless numbers here for our area. Again, Don, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for asking, Steve.
Don, first of all, let's talk about you and what you do for the Department of Employment Security. Basically, you're a number cruncher, right?
A number cruncher. And but I guess another way of looking at it is economic intelligence.
There you go.
I serve 7 counties here. I serve Adams, Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Kittitas, Okanagan, and Yakima. And primarily we look at the labor market. We're labor economists. So we look at labor force trends, unemployment rates, and how the different industries are faring in terms of employment.
So that's what brings Don here to NCW Live today to talk about the latest numbers, and that would be for October employment. And what's the picture look like in our labor market area of Chelan and Douglas County?
Well, the short story, there's more good than bad news. And I think one of the things that I always like to bring up is the unemployment rate, discuss that first. And our unemployment rate dropped between the Octobers of 2016 and 2017 substantially, 1 2/10 points, from 5.0 to 3.8%.
That's a really, in terms of the numbers you normally work with, that's a big number.
It's a historic low. And in fact, it's the lowest reading for the month of October, Steve, since we started to keep electronic data back in 1990. So 27 years. Out of 27 Octobers, this is the lowest. So it is good economic news.
Obviously good economic news. Now you do the number crunching, you compile all the data and everything else, but you don't necessarily analyze what's causing this increase.
No, I think the biggest thing is we have to ensure our data is accurate, that it's quantitatively we do a good job. We also have a section in Lacey, Washington that helps us with our current employment statistics, with our LAUS, we call it, Labor Area Unemployment Statistics. So they actually do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. And then we take a lot of their data, further analyze it, and disseminate that analysis.
Now, the job categories or the sectors that you work with that provide numbers for each month, these are non-agriculture?
Actually, they're primarily the non-farm. Yeah, the monthly estimates are non-farm. They do not include agriculture. We do capture agricultural data annually, and we also indirectly get a feel for agricultural employment in our civilian labor force data. So, in other words, from which the unemployment rate is derived. But, and that's not a conspiracy, that's not just here in Chelan, Douglas, the state data and the national data, the jobs report that people commonly refer to, does not include current employment estimates for agriculture. It's only on an annual basis we capture those data through primarily through a system called QCEW, Quarterly Census Employment Wage Data.
Okay. Don has been kind enough to share with us some graphics now showing the different sectors of our labor area and how they were affected over the past month. Let's start out, first of all, with construction, which is normally a fairly big employer here in the Valley and something that's significant in terms of your data.
It is, and construction has been one of the major growth industries consistently here in the two-county area. Again, we often call it Wenatchee MSA, Metropolitan Statistical Area, but we're really referring to Chelan and Douglas counties. Year over year, the Wenatchee MSA's construction industry has either stabilized or grown now in each of the past 17 months. And this chart demonstrates it. Again, the blue bar indicates growth rates, year-over-year growth rates in the state. The orange bar, burnt orange bar, is year-over-year growth rates in the Wenatchee MSA.
Well, it's interesting to see this because, as we all know, here in the Wenatchee Valley, we do have a dearth of new homes available and inventory is low, but this does not reflect necessarily residential development or construction, but the entire.
It's the aggregate number, and whether it's residential, industrial, commercial, when we do our estimates for construction, we capture all those into what we call the construction industries.
So construction industry appears to be rather healthy here in the Wenatchee Valley right now.
It is, and that's the short story. It's, I think there's two industries that are really doing extremely well here in the two-county area, construction and private health services.
Okay, let's move on to our next graphic now. And this would be for private education, health services here in the Valley. So that also looks fairly healthy at this point.
That's a case in point, Steve, that industry is looking quite well. In fact, that industry has been growing now year over year for 49 months, all the way back since October 2013 up through this October. Statewide, the industry has been growing well too for 52 consecutive months. But the interesting thing about that is that in many cases, our health services growth rates have surpassed the state's growth rates. So we're looking good.
Wow, that's fantastic. On to our next set of numbers here, and this reflects the leisure and hospitality sector of our labor market.
Yes, and there's really a short story to explain. Many people might ask, well, what's happened in leisure and hospitality? It's a tourism-driven industry. And I guess the thing is, the main fact that helped push our year-over-year growth rates down, in fact, in a couple months they're into the negative column, was primarily the smoke and the wildfires from British Columbia on down through Washington this past summer. And we did have a very sluggish economy since July. In fact, we actually lost jobs year over year here in the two-county area in July and October. But the fires are over now. So let's hope for better months ahead.
You don't handle Okanagan County, do you?
Yes.
Now, did they see a similar situation?
I'd have to go back and check that. I think it was not. They weren't faring very well up there either. And I know the most recent data, in fact, Okanagan County year over year between the Octobers of 16, 17 actually lost jobs.
I would think that some of those counties that had major wildfires like Kittitas County.
Well, it's funny that Kittitas has actually fared well. And you might say at the Jolly Mountain fire, how can that be? But I think what happened is a lot of folks were based in, a lot of the firefighters were actually based in Kittitas County.
That's right.
So I was expecting to see declines when I actually saw increases, year-over-year increases. So, and another limitation of these data is that many of the forest firefighters or the wildfire fighters are from other fire departments. And we don't pick up that employment in the area because they're actually from Bellevue or Spokane or another state.
Okay, I understand. All right, that is our leisure and hospitality industry. And now we move on to our manufacturing. And this really seems to be the kind of the dismal picture that we have
it is.
showing right now.
And I think it's one of those industries that, as we were talking about earlier, Steve, these data are actually quite current, the employment data. They incorporate our benchmark data from the second quarter from April, May, and June. primarily what happened is even at the state level, the second quarter was a little better than we thought. However, in Chelan-Douglas, the revisions came in a little more negative than we thought. This is one such industry where we're actually seeing a year-over-year decline in construction. What's driving it primarily, of course, the large drops there on the left back in November, December, January are still the losses, year-over-year losses from the idling of the Alcoa smelter. But that industry still hasn't rebounded yet. And you might ask, well, what's going on with the state? You know, the state manufacturing sector has also been declining now for well over a year. A little difference in the state is most of those year-over-year declines are in aircraft manufacturing.
Interesting, interesting. I know that in the Wenatchee area we are looking at some new jobs coming to the area. The Diamond Foundry is going to be opening here with about 96 new jobs. Also, I believe there's some other new companies like Lowe's Trust that's moving in too and bringing in some additional jobs. But again, those numbers could be affected then by this.
Yes, positively affected.
Yeah. How about government sector?
The government is actually, you know, last year I went back and looked on an annual average basis. Government added, the state government grew by 100, local government by 200. This year they're still generally up, although we had a little blip downwards in state government between the Octobers of 16 and 17. We didn't get the specifics of what portion of government, but I have a kind of a gut feel in state government that one of the factors there, one of the elements is college employment. You know, 2-year college and 4-year college. In that category, we also report on student employment, which is very volatile. Non-covered student employment. And I suspect we just got a downturn, a temporary downturn in that, because it's sure not a long-term trend. Like I say, last year state government was up 100. When I looked at the most recent data for state government trends, I saw 11 consecutive months of year-over-year growth in state government up until October, and then boop, we had that little drop. So is it structural? Is it permanent? I tend to think not.
Yeah. Don Mesick is the regional economist for the 7-county area of central Washington, and he joins us now. In fact, he'll be joining us periodically in the future to share these numbers with us. You know, we've talked about this before, Don. In the past, I know that when we're talking about unemployment numbers, the jobless rate that we share with people each month, that is a reflection of all types of jobs, including part-time and full-time jobs, seasonal jobs, and that type of thing?
It is. In fact, there's 2 separate databases we look at, I guess 2 types of numbers. The labor force from which the unemployment rate is derived is what we call a place of residence number. And that is an estimate of all residents and whether they're employed or they're unemployed. The non-farm data is more current, and again, that's just non-farm estimate, just the non-farm industries. But the labor force numbers from that, for specifically, when I look at our economy here in October, what I see is basically non-farm growth was stagnant this October. Although it had risen year over year, up until October, it actually slowed a speck. Well, people might ask, how can that be if the unemployment rate is at a historic low? I think one of the things that's helped us this October is agricultural employment.
Right.
For example, when I look at the labor force, I can see there were 302 more residents in the labor force in the 2-county area this October than last. That's a very modest 0.4% increase. Number of unemployed dropped precipitously, 24.1%. We had 805 fewer residents out of work this October than last. So when I look at, well, where are they getting jobs? They're not all getting jobs in the non-farm sector. I think it's primarily the agricultural sector that's helped to buoy up our economy this October.
Yeah, well, obviously that is the linchpin for Central Washington.
It is. It's in fact in most counties in Central Washington, from Okanagan all the way over to Adams down to Yakima.
But is this a true reflection of the actual workforce? I mean, in terms of employment, full-time versus part-time, where these people are not getting paid the same, of course.
That's always a question, and
that's
it is. I think generally one of the common misperceptions is that if people exhaust their unemployment claims, they drop out of the labor force. Not true. We have a current population survey that's done nationally, and we get a sample in every county here in Washington. If a person's ready, willing, and able to work, they're in the labor force.
Okay.
So we have an estimate. However, with all that said, if a person becomes discouraged and no longer seeks work, they do drop out of the labor force. If a person goes to school full-time and they're no longer seeking work, they drop out of the labor force. Or if a person is on disability, unable to work, they do drop out of the labor force. So there's some of that, and our labor force participation rates have not been going up lately. From a national perspective. So that is, I think, always one area of concern for the nation as well as the two-county area.
So in terms of the comparison between the two counties of Chelan and Douglas versus, let's say, your regional picture in your 7-county area, is it a shared picture?
You know, I'd actually have to go back and look at labor force participation rates by county. And we can get some of those data. Maybe in a future interview.
Let's do that.
We'll do that.
That sounds good. Don Messick's been joining us here over the last few minutes, sharing with us the latest jobless numbers here in Central Washington. And anything else you'd like to share with us? Are there any warning signs out there that you see that, that could cause problems for us in the future?
I think, you know, the encouraging news, I think, in these data was one, there's two things. First, even the statewide data were revised upward with the entry of second quarter non-farm. So the state economy is looking good. We're not immune to what goes on across Washington. Second, our unemployment rate is at a historic low, and there's many residents finding work. Second is, or third, I should say, really, is I think there's many sectors. The Wenatchee economy has always been fairly vibrant, and we're still coming off a body blow last year from the closure of that, or the idling of the Alcoa smelter. So I think that with the current economic developments that I understand are forecasted, the low unemployment rate, I think there's more good news than bad on the horizon for the two-county area.
Very good. Thanks for joining us, Don.
Thanks for asking. Anytime.
You bet. Don Messick with the State Department of Employment Security joining us here on NCW Life Channel.
The 2017 Ski-Doo Summit sleds. Next generation REV platform. The most powerful two-stroke engine in the industry. For the unmatched handling and power to own the next side hill, the next drop, the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
Just about a minute left on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz alongside News Director Steve Hare. Steve, in the brief moments we have left, some of the stories we're working on.
Well, first of all, this week we're going to be doing a story, kind of an assessment of where the city of Wenatchee is with its red light cameras. They've been in place now for, what, 5-6 years?
Something like that, yeah.
We want to find out what they're doing in terms of generating revenue for the city, but even more importantly, what they're doing to reduce the incidence of accidents at those intersections where they're located. Also, you and I are going to be attending the Chelan County PUD Commissioners meeting today. They're working on their budget and should be taking final action on that today as well, so we'll have something on that.
Enjoy the sunshine while you can, because Mother Nature has other plans by the middle of the week. There you go. Sunshine today, partly sunny Tuesday. Here comes the fog and the clouds and the fog and the clouds and the fog and the clouds. High pressure building over the Pacific Northwest, and that means once the clouds and the fog introduce themselves, Steve, Tuesday night, you're going to be sticking around. It's like that house guest that sleeps on your couch and eats all your food and won't go away. Thanks for joining us on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The Wenatchee Figure Skating Club will be my guest tomorrow. Take care. Till Tuesday. Bye-bye.